Football is here. Kickoff is about 5 hours away, and we are going to get to watch the defending Super Bowl champions versus one of the most hungriest teams in the NFL to get revenge, to get redemption, and get to the big game, to get to the big dance. You get to the dance, you get to the little dance, but you want to get to the big dance. You want to get to the big dance where you can win it all. You want the trophy. You want the ring. You want a trophy for that case. Buffalo Bills are on that mission. The Rams got one last year. Who will prevail? Who will take home the first win of the 2022 NFL season? Will it be the Bills? Will it be the Rams? We're going to talk about it today. I'm going to give you my thoughts and give you my overall view on this game. Some things that need to go right for both teams. What teams need to get, what the Bills need to get going, what the Rams need to do. And I'm going to break this game down for you. So thank you for tuning in to the JDW Sports Talk Show. If you enjoy football, make sure to like, subscribe, put the post notification bell on so any future videos. So first, we're going to start with the defending, the reigning Super Bowl champs in the Los Angeles Rams. So I have a few keys here for them. They have to get that run game going. You know, their offensive line is going to be a little rough this year. The offensive line is going to be rough, and Matthew Stafford is still going to be recovering from that tendonitis. You know, the tendonitis, it's a serious injury. You know, if it is fully healed, he will be okay. But if it's not fully healed, you know, even if it is, he's still not going to be 100%. You know, tendonitis is an injury that takes a long time to fully recover, and it's painful as well. So Matthew Stafford, keep an eye on that. Matthew Stafford, we're going to see how he performs with that, see if he gets some fatigue as the game goes on or even as the season goes on. If it's not fully healed around weeks 8 and 9, he's going to have a lot more issues with that elbow than now. So get the run game going. Don't let Matthew Stafford have to throw 40 times a game. Don't let him have to drop back 40 times a game because that offensive line is not great as it is. Losing Andrew Whitworth doesn't help. They have No Boom. Love No Boom. They have a few okay pieces, but it's nothing special. It's not enough to just pass every play and let this Bills defensive line do what they want. This Bills defensive line will get there. Von Miller is going to want his revenge. Von Miller is going to want to come into you know, not really revenge because he won the Super Bowl and stuff. It's not like it was a bitter departure, but he's playing the Rams. You know, he's going to want to have a good game. He's going to want to show them, you know, why they didn't pay him as much, why they didn't keep him. So, got to get that run game going. Cam Akers, you got to get that run game going. Need to get going. So, there's no Tre'Davious White. So, the Rams need to attack the corners. Kyer Elam is going to be a starter. Is going to be the number one. Take how you will. You know, Kyer Elam, he's a very talented corner come out of Florida. He's a first-round corner. On the other side, you have something Johnson. I think it's like Teron Johnson or something. Not a fan of him. He allowed the 17th most yards after catch last year. And Teron Johnson, in general, he's just not a number 2 caliber corner. And Kyer Elam, we don't know if he's a number 1 caliber corner. So this Rams offense needs to attack the receivers. So it's kind of like contradicting what I'm saying here. You know, get the run game going, but attack the receivers. You need to be balanced in this game. You need to be balanced. You need to attack the receivers, and you need to run the ball. You know, you need to attack the corners, I mean. So that's one thing that this Rams team is going to have to do. They're going to have to be very balanced today. Very balanced tonight. Then you have the red zone defense. Red zone defense needs to come up big this game. Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills boast the number 1 red zone offense last year in the 2022 NFL season. They were so efficient. They have Knox. They have Diggs. They have Davis. They have, not a fan of the running backs, but now they have James Cook. Very dangerous out of the backfield. One of the best receiving backs out of the class last year. You know what? Actually, I'm going to go with the best receiving back out of the class this year. You know, the draft that just happened. So, you know, watch out. And don't forget Josh Allen's ability to not just throw the ball, but to run the ball. Dude ran for over 700 yards last year, 6 touchdowns. So, this Rams red zone defense is going to have to come up big. Jalen Ramsey's going to have to play really well. Donald's is going to have to play really well. You know, Bobby Wagner is going to have to play really well. So that kind of brings us to our next thing. You know, they need to keep calm. They need to keep their composure because they're a team coming off a Super Bowl win. Feeling's going to be, up there. The emotion's going to be high. You're going to have Joe Noteboom versus Von Miller. That's, Joe Note is going to be a fun matchup. Very good matchup. Bobby Wagner is suiting up in a new uniform for the first time in his career. He's never been anywhere but Seattle or, in a different uniform than that dark blue and green. So it's going to be different for him as well. So the emotions need to stay calm. They're going to have banners put up before the game. They're going to have all this stuff going on before the game because they won the Super Bowl. They need to stay calm. That's in the past. I get it. Enjoy it. But you enjoying it, you celebrating that is over. Get those banners up. Get your butts in gear to play tonight versus the Buffalo Bills team. Get your butt in gear. Just because they don't have Tre'Davious White doesn't mean they're not going to be good. They didn't have Tre'Davious White down the stretch last year either. Remember that. They still had an impressive defense. Their safeties are very good as well. Safeties, linebackers, defensive line. But corners are a little bit of a different story. But Tremaine Edmonds, watch out for Tremaine Edmonds. He's going to have a huge year. This is around the year where he's going to be booming. He's going to have a big-time year. So tight ends might struggle, and the run game may be difficult to get going, with those linebackers, the defensive line. So that could prove to be very tough for the Buffalo Bills on the stretch. You can't keep a drive going. Josh Allen getting ready to go again, and your defense is exhausted. Need to find a way to get the run game going. The offensive line isn't great. Or, you need Matthew Stafford to throw short stuff. He needs to, you might need Stafford to throw 40 times. It's not ideal because of that tendonitis. You want that to continue to heal. And I get it. It's been a little while since he really had it. It doesn't matter. Tendonitis is something to keep in mind, especially during the football season. So, something to keep your eye out on. So, now we're going to move over to the Buffalo Bills. Buffalo Bills, man, they're hungry. They're pissed off how the way last year ended. They're going to come out swinging. Josh Allen's going to come out swinging. Josh Allen's going to come out throwing 100-mile-an-hour footballs. Not literally, but he's going to be pissed. He's going to be, he's ready. This team is ready to make that run. They were ready last year. Just unfortunate, of what happened in the last drive, in overtime. But it is what it is. So, big expectations to fill, from Brian Daboll being gone. Ken Dorsey's going to step in. He's going to debut as a Bills OC. And there's no time to waste. He needs to get in and he needs to have a good first game. There's no settling in. Because you're playing the former Super Bowl champs, the defending Super Bowl champs, so you need to come out strong versus this Rams defense. Very good defense. But you also have a very good offense, very good personnel. But also last year, Brian Daboll is amazing, and there's a reason why he's a head coach over in New York now. Thing is, Brian Daboll's offense once in a while went quiet, and he just didn't have an answer. To the Jaguars last year, in the beginning of the season, to the Steelers, maybe even versus the Colts, there he struggled a little bit. But it was raining, so that's a little bit of a different scenario. But nonetheless, Ken Dorsey has to get going right away, and I believe he could. I think he could be a very good offensive coordinator. Don't forget, it's not all on the offensive coordinator. This offense is so talented, I think they could just do what they need to do. But the coach is still important. So Ken Dorsey needs to come out firing. He needs to come out being very creative, and he needs to get it done tonight versus the Rams. So then you have the Bills' O-line is a big key to this game. We know how good the Rams front is. You got Donald. You have a lot of guys in that front. You have Wagner. Wagner's more of a linebacker, but that Bills front is not something to take lightly. You need to find a way to get Donald figured out under wraps, but the Bills' offensive line is going to be a big factor in this game. I'm not a big fan of the Bills running backs running. I'm not a fan of Zach Moss, Singletary. I don't think they're dynamic backs. I don't think they're number one backs. They're not. James Cook now, he's an elite pass catcher out of the backfield, and yes, I'm going to put elite in there. great to elite. Elite might be pushing a little bit just because we don't see him. We haven't seen him in NFL action, but coming from college, he was elite, and I think he's going to carry over, especially with the quarterback like Josh Allen. Now, is he a great runner, downhill runner? No, I don't think he is a phenomenal downfield runner, but I think he's a phenomenal option out of the backfield as a running back, as a receiving back. But the Bills' offensive line in general, this Bills team might need to get. I think the Bills' line is decent. It's decent. I'm not a fan of the running backs though. The running backs aren't anything special. Not running anyways. You have Diggs, you have Davis, you have Knox. You just need to scheme these guys open quick because the Rams' defense line is insane. No matter what offensive line you have Donald, you have a lot of guys need to account for in the Bills' defensive line. So, need to get the ball out quick. The offensive line needs to play good. Don't let Josh Allen be getting hit back there. Don't forget, Josh Allen can evade very easily. He's very hard to bring down, very big. He jumps over people. He runs over people. He runs for touchdowns, a lot of yards. So this offensive line does need to perform well. If it doesn't perform well, Josh Allen's going to be under duress the whole game. He's going to be thrown to those corners, Troy Hill, Ramsey. If you let Josh Allen be pressured too much, he might make some mistakes. That brings me to another thing. Josh Allen and Matthew Stafford are very similar quarterbacks when it comes to that. Both are mistake prone. So both of these teams, I'm kind of going to throw this in there for both of the teams. Both teams need to take advantage of the mistakes. Whoever throws the interception, I think Josh Allen and Matthew Stafford are each going to throw one interception. The team that capitalizes on that interception is a team that wins the game. That's kind of my prediction. That's kind of what I'm gonna predict. So Bills D line needs to be up and ready to go, and I think they will. Miller, Hughes. No, they don't have Hughes anymore, but they have Ed Oliver. They have some really solid talent on that defensive line, and the defensive line is going to come through. I think they're going to be very good. As I said, I'm not a fan of the Rams' offensive line. It's not a very good offensive line. Running backs, on the other hand, I think they're really solid. I like the Rams' running backs, but there's only so much a running back can do if he has no room to run, doesn't have any holes to run through. Some running backs are very capable of making their own holes and just making do with what they got, but when you have a Bills front like that is very well coached, Sean McDermott is a very good defensive mind guy. When you have defensive line like that, you're going to need to really block them, and but you're going to have to get after Matthew Stafford as well. You have to get after Matthew Stafford. Don't let them get the run game going. They get the run game going, it's going to be difficult for the Bills to win this game. If the Bills get the run game going, or the Rams get the run game going, I'm going to favor the Rams because the Rams could control the clock. Matthew Stafford could throw when needed. But do I think the run game's ain't going? I don't really think so. I think Tremaine Edmonds and Matt Milano, and then you have this defensive line. Yeah, Poyer, Hyde, Elam is not a good tackler. He's not a great tackler. That's the thing with Elam. Tron Johnson, I don't know too much about him. I just know he's not a very good corner. But that's kind of how it goes with corners. It's either, if you're hearing about them, it's bad or it's good. Kind of how it goes with corners or, kind of anyone. But you don't really want to hear a cornerback's name unless it's good for an interception or a pass deflection. So, Bills D-line needs to be good. Needs to be strong. Don't let that Rams running game go. Start. Then, for the Bills, tackling needs to be on point. The tackling needs to be very good because you have guys like Cooper Kupp, you have guys like Allen Robinson, you have guys like Cam Akers. They have Tutu Atwell. They have a lot of guys that can make guys miss. They have a lot of very, very strong talent at wide receiver that can make guys miss, fast, whatever it is. Cam Akers is a guy that's very elusive. You have to have good tackling. If you don't have good tackling this game, wide receivers are going to have a huge run after catch day, yards after catch day. Wide receivers are just going to feast after the catch, maybe even before the catch because the corners are not great. If they attack the corners, Cooper Kupp, if you attack Kyrie Elam with Cooper Kupp, rookie, Cooper, going to take Cooper. Robinson, rookie, Robinson, Johnson, going to take Robinson. You're going to take Kupp and Robinson over any of these corners. They are incredible matchups for the Rams. Thing is, the Rams don't get that running game going. It's going to be tough to control that clock. It's tough to control clock when you're passing the ball. So the Bills' tackling is good. Limit the yards after catch, the run after catch. They're going to be looking pretty good. They're going to be looking okay. I think that's one of the things they really need to make sure they do tonight. Then, my last thing here is the Bills' run defense, as I've said. If the Bills stop the run, I think the Bills have a much greater chance to win the game than the Los Angeles Rams. Because, I'm not going to keep saying it. This is the last time I'm going to say it, but you can't run the ball, can't control clock. It's not easy to control clock. Josh Allen makes a mistake. Then the Rams have to capitalize. As I said earlier, whoever makes a mistake and the team that capitalizes is a team that's going to win. Or, picks up a fumble, just takes advantage of that turnover or something like that because they're going to need good field position. This is going to be a phenomenal game. My score prediction for this game, it's a tough one. I think the Bills' red zone offense is going to be just fine. I don't think that's going to be too much of an issue. There's just too many weapons to cover. I get the Rams have some really good defensive players, but they just have so many weapons. It's so difficult to cover every single one. So I say the Bills score a solid 31 points, and the Los Angeles Rams score 27-28. So I'm going to go 27-31 Buffalo Bills over the Los Angeles Rams. I'm going to take the Buffalo Bills in the opener. I think the Bills, Josh Allen, can make a few more plays than Matthew Stafford. Running the ball is going to be another thing with Josh Allen. You could run the ball with Josh Allen a little bit, so that definitely helps against that Rams front. They kind of got to be honest. Even he could scramble. We know that. He could jump over people, run over people. I think the Bills have a better chance of getting the run game going because of, I think the offensive line is better. I think having a better offensive line than a better defensive line is more important. In some situations, in certain games, this game it is. This game is going to be won in the trenches. That's just how this game is going to be won. This game could be won, by receivers or corners, but the ideal is in the trenches. So, you guys let me know what you think. That's all I got for you guys today. Thank you for tuning in to the JDW Sports Talk Show, where your fans welcome. If you enjoyed, make sure to like, subscribe, put the post notification bell on. This is JDW, signing out. Football is back, baby.